We're live. So just wait a couple of seconds when it's so that syncs up, and then you guys can start.
All right. Hello and good morning to everybody present here. On behalf of the Computer Society of India VIT student chapter, we welcome you to Dehidden, a workshop that deep dives into the topics of Ethereum and NFTs. I, Gauri,
And I, Rahul.
will be your hosts for the day as you go beyond NFT apes and understand the frameworks and protocols behind them.
Before we get the workshop underway, we would like to thank the Wheeler Institute of Technology Management for their support and encouragement in organizing Dehidden.
We extend our gratitude to Dr. C.D. Naiju, Director of Student Welfare, and all the student welfare directors.
And we also thank our faculty coordinators of the Computer Society of India chapter, Professor Sendil Kumar KS and Professor Govinda Kesar.
The Computer Society of India VIT is a non-profit student organization which brings together some of the best designers, developers, and tech enthusiasts who collaborate and organize various events, workshops, and hackathons every year with the motivation of pushing technology forward and fostering a community of tech enthusiasts.
Now, allow me to acquaint you with our speaker, Dr. Prakash Kamaraj, a distinguished clinical AI researcher who presently works as a medtech AI product innovator at Ocean Protocol Community, and is also leading the technical outreach with the Indian community. An IIT alumnus who specializes in advanced blockchain technology, he's a versatile crackerjack with expertise in fields ranging from product management and deep tech research in the healthcare industry.
Now we'll be handing it over to Dr. Prakash.
Hi everyone, Prakash will be joining in a few minutes. I'll be taking over his part of the speaking session. So hello everyone, this is Trishul. I'm part of the Indian Ocean community and also the technical outreach for the Ocean Protocol. Hope you're all having a great day. So this session is very specific to NFT engineering. So we have all seen the rise of NFT adoption via PFPs and gaming, etc. But the technology goes beyond that, and it's even more fascinating and sophisticated. So today I'm thrilled to announce that we have Mr. Sangeet Muralidhar, Dehidden's in-house NFT expert, to give us a detailed session on NFT engineering and behind the scenes of how the NFTs are minted and showcased on various platforms. So please welcome Mr. Sangeet and take it away when you're ready.
Hey everyone, thank you guys. Thank you so much for having me over here. So for those of you who don't know, I'm from Dehidden. We are a company based out of Bangalore who specialize in making real world utilities for NFTs. I'm sure everyone here has heard of the craze around NFTs and the entire art collection, but Dehidden's trying to take that one extra step in making NFTs something that you can use in the real world. So before we start with the presentation, I assume I have share screen. Yes, I do. Awesome. So this is basically what I'm going to be talking about, which gives you a good idea. I've been told most of the hackers here at VIT have already taken part in various other hackathons within the EVM ecosystem. So I'm sure you guys have a decent enough basics, but I was also told there would be a little bit of newcomers over here. So I'm going to be brushing up a little bit on the basics. We're going to go touch up a few topics on developments, various protocols that we'll be using, and a small Q&A session if we have the time for it. So can I confirm you guys can see my screen? Yes, awesome. Perfect. So obviously the first question that we're going to ask here is what are NFTs? So NFTs by themselves stand for non-fungible tokens. Fungible is something that we use in the traditional world where we can kind of compare two things to be the same. So to put that in a better example, if I were to give you $100 bill and you were to give me back another $100 bill, we haven't really traded in any sense. According to the economic principles, what we have conducted is a null trade because the value that I have given up and the value that I have received is the same. But now imagine if the $100 that I gave you was made of gold and the $100 that you gave back to me was made of platinum. Now, even though they are both $100 bills, they have another underlying metal or another underlying asset that kind of differentiates it from itself. So the idea of non-fungible tokens came into existence when we had a lot of similar things, but with individual prices and individual asset valuation for these individual things. So ideally, what we usually go through is when you develop a smart contract on any blockchain, you have two types of token standards that you use. The first token standards are fungible tokens, and the second one are non-fungible tokens. Fungible tokens can be exchanged within itself. Non-fungible tokens cannot be exchanged. So an NFT is a digital asset that represents real-world objects like art, music, in-game items, and videos. Although the example does not stop over here, there are numerous other use cases that come with the help of NFTs. We will get into it a little deeper towards the end on all the various external things that we can definitely make use of with the help of NFTs. But the current hype and the current craze are entirely dependent and focused on the art side of things. As you all know, cryptocurrencies and NFTs are very much in its nascent stage. So it's definitely going to take some time for us to have mass adoption in this and use it for real world use cases. So NFTs such as the Bored Ape Yacht Club, Cyberpunks, and CryptoKitties are all built on a blockchain. And this blockchain, being the Ethereum blockchain, follows few protocols and standards that we will be speaking of next. So the first thing you guys need to know is how does one communicate with a blockchain? So the best way and the only way to communicate with the blockchain is with the help of a wallet. You have different types of wallets. You have centralized wallets and decentralized wallets. Centralized wallets are what we call custodial wallets, meaning you do not own the private key that is associated to that wallet, and you are entrusting another entity to have this data safe. A few examples that use custodial wallets are centralized exchanges such as Binance, KuCoin, Coinbase, WazirX, and anything else that comes within it. A decentralized exchange, however, or a non-custodial wallet is a wallet where you have the private key, meaning you get to take any decisions or any encryption algorithm that you need to use on top of these. So in a gist, a crypto wallet is used to interact with the blockchain network. The three major types of crypto wallets are hardware, software, and paper wallets. Based on their needs and requirements, they can be classified further into hot or cold wallets. A hardware wallet is a wallet that has some sort of physical presence. You can consider this as your phone or a pen drive or even a hard disk. A software wallet is a wallet that is present on your desktop where you download a certain app or a certain script and then you run that on your system and now you have a software wallet. A paper wallet is a wallet where you have the public key and private key embedded into a piece of paper with a QR scan that can be scanned by anyone, anywhere. Paper wallets are basically not reliable right now because a lot of people are coming to understand that a random string of 64 letters could possibly be the private key of a certain wallet. So the best two options we have right now are hardware and software wallets. They are further classified into hot and cold wallets. A cold wallet is a wallet that is not connected to the internet, meaning if you had to move any funds from that wallet, you would have to physically connect it to your laptop or the host device. Hot wallet is a wallet that is basically present in your phone, and that's easily accessible. So the categories of wallets are pretty broad. Just like centralized and decentralized, you have centralized cold wallets, decentralized cold wallets, centralized hot wallets, and you have the entire spectrum over there. Each of these wallets have their own benefits and problems, or as we call it, the pros and cons. Using a cold wallet might be a little bit tedious and a little bit more time consuming because you would have to connect your wallet to have any form of interaction with the blockchain. And having a hot wallet that's online would deem some security risks when it comes to keeping your funds safe. Now, within the Ethereum virtual machine ecosystem, there are two main aspects that kind of govern the entire chain. The first is EIP, which is the Ethereum Improvement Proposal, and the second is ERC, which is Ethereum Request for Comments. So before we go ahead, I'm just want to show you guys a little bit on how a wallet would basically look like. So MetaMask is one of the best wallets that we use currently for EVM-based dApps and smart contracts. It's quite straightforward on downloading it. It's a very basic extension that you get on your desktop, and you also get something called a private key, which is the last layer of security for anyone to access this set of funds. Now back to EIP and ERC. So EIP is basically a proposal that a developer or a user within the Ethereum ecosystem puts forward to the community saying that, hey, why don't we improve this? These are the benefits that come from it. It might increase the scalability aspect or the transferability aspect or the decentralization aspect. Now, when an EIP is deemed to be so good that there is an entire standard of tokens that can be made on it, this EIP is then converted into an ERC. But not all EIPs are converted to ERCs because some EIPs are designed and designated for the chain itself and not for smart contract development. So EIP stands for Ethereum Improvement Proposal. It's a common way of requesting changes to the Ethereum network. It's inspired by the Bitcoin Improvement Proposal, which stands for BIP. An EIP is a design covering technical specifications of the proposed change and the rationale behind it. Each EIP contains protocol specifications and smart contract standards. Once the EIP is approved by the committee and finalized, it becomes an ERC. You can say ERC is a specific type of EIP. ERCs are application level conventions and standards, and they may be for different types. Some ERCs are meant for gas transactions to make transfers between the chain and within the chain more easier and cheaper. Some are designed to give you more freedom of choice on what you should put on the chain. So let's say you put in an EIP proposal, it's been approved by the committee and finalized. It has now become an ERC standard. ERC stands for Ethereum Request for Comments. These are technical documents written by Ethereum developers for the Ethereum community. Each document contains a set of rules required for implementation. To create standards for the Ethereum platform, a developer submits an Ethereum improvement proposal. Each EIP contains protocol specifications and smart contract standards. And once it's finalized, it goes over to become an ERC. Frameworks. Now, when any computer science entity, anyone working within the field know what a framework is. A framework is a set of rules and protocols that have been designed by the main developers, which can be used by users and other third-party developers. Now, a few properties of a blockchain is it is mostly or 99% of the time an open source project. So you have access to the source code, and because you have access to the source code, you are able to create more APIs, software development kits, and applications that make use of these frameworks. So the best framework that we use as of now is Truffle, Brownie Mix, Hard Hat, and Remix. They most of them are GUI based information desktop environments. Some of them are command line interface, but ultimately they all do the same thing. It helps you create smart contracts and deploy these smart contracts on the chain. Now we've spoken about NFTs with art. Now it's time to speak about NFTs with real world utilities. So the fundamental properties of NFTs is it's a way of proving ownership. It's a way of updating this blockchain with some sort of data that can never be changed and can be verified anytime, anywhere, at any point of requirement. So a few of the avenues that developers will be focusing on in the near future is creating tickets for events with the help of NFTs, creating bills for purchases and selling orders as NFTs, putting up land deeds, ownership details, rent agreements, and any other legally abiding contracts as an NFT on chain, and providing some sort of access to collectibles. Now, when we say NFTs show you a way of proving ownership, it is only limited to proving the ownership to that particular wallet. We would need to find another way to prove that. And currently, within the decentralized nature of blockchain cryptocurrencies, we do not have the practice of doxing ourselves to a wallet that can potentially be tracked. The next part of the development side of thing is the SDKs and protocols. So SDK obviously stands for software development kits, and protocols are underlying rules and regulations that we use to develop certain smart contracts. So the best one right now within the Ethereum virtual machine is OpenZeppelin. Here we have an OpenZeppelin wizard that we will get into in a few minutes. But in general, it is a repository of a lot of codes that's been used by a lot of individuals. You guys can see most of the contracts that you verify on Etherscan to be referenced by OpenZeppelin or have some sort of import of libraries or any kind of queues. As you can see, it is the most used repository within the Ethereum virtual machine. Any blockchain built within the Ethereum virtual machine uses the same base language, which is Solidity. So if you have a contract on Ethereum, you can very well post that contract on Binance Smart Chain, Polygon, and Phantom, and all the other EVM-based ecosystems. Bioeconomy is a dApp that uses the GSN protocol. Bioeconomy is basically a smart contract that helps you mint or on chain without paying gas. So let's you were to gift to an individual, and this individual would have to go and mint this NFT. Essentially, when you mint an NFT or anytime you speak to the blockchain, you have something where you need to pay a transaction fee. So meta transactions or gasless transactions with the help of Bioeconomy lets you move that transaction fee from the minter to another wallet. Bioeconomy is a dApp that uses this particular protocol. Infura, on the other hand, is the SDK that uses certain protocols where you can communicate for the memories side of things on chain. IPFS is a decentralized media storage platform where you can upload any type of data and you are given a certain hash, and with the help of this hash you can put this information on chain. So we're going to go through a very small and easy way of making a smart contract. I'm just going to make sure if I can download this for some reason. Nope. Awesome. So you have MetaMask downloaded. It's going to show you all the information on what you have and what you don't need. The first thing we're going to go to is create our smart contract. So we are going to go to OpenZeppelin wizard. And Open Zeppelin wizard uses the Open Zeppelin framework to create a very base mix of your smart contract. So the first thing you're going to choose is your contract standard. The governor standard stands for anything or any entity where you want to create a DAO, where you have some sort of governance that is required in the case of voting. ERC 1155 and ERC 721 are two standards that we use for creating NFTs. The best way to remember the difference is, the 721 are all different numbers and there are only one of each number. But ERC 1155 has two ones and two fives, meaning if you had token ID 1, you can have multiples of the token ID, and you can have token ID number 2, which will also have multiple token IDs. ERC 20 is the basic fungible token standard that we use, where we create certain, any fungible token uses the ERC 20 standard. So considering this entire workshop is going to be more NFT focused, I'm going to keep it towards the 721 and 1155. But for the sake of this particular presentation, we're going to stick to 721. So let's create a VIT token. Let's give it the symbol name VIT CSI. And your base URI is something where the images that you want to put out comes over here. So now what happens is you go to IPFS. No, that's the wrong one. And you got to install this IPFS for desktop. And you come to the docs section of the particular app. Now, every single app that we have mentioned about over here has this particular doc section. The doc section is basically our best friend, because we are only currently in the idea of developing concrete foundational elements. So the best way for us to get information across is using these docs. So if you come by any chance to use any tools or dApps within the Web3 ecosystem, I would always recommend going through the docs first and providing you with all the information you need. So let's say you want the contract to be a mintable, and you also want it to be burnable. It has the idea of making both, and you have a URI storage for it. Let's say the access control is by roles or ownable. Ownable usually means this smart contract can only be enacted upon by the wallet holder. And you have other specific requirements that you need to give out. So now you have a very basic ERC contract. We are going to copy the contract and go over to our IDE of choice. So I personally prefer the Remix Ethereum IDE. It is an online GUI based IDE that you don't need to download anything. Most of the other ones have some sort of entities that you would need to download. So let's create a new file. Let's name this VIT CSI.sol. As you all know, the .sol suffix is the program file interface name that we provide for Solidity. We're going to paste our contract over here and wait for some time just to see that we don't have any errors. And as you can see, all of these libraries that I have imported is being called upon by the contract. And once we have all the information loaded, we can start going to compile. So it's suggested that we use the latest version of the compiler, but the latest version with any open source project usually has a lot of bugs. So we try to go down a few. So I'm going to go with 8.7. Language Solidity, the EVM version is default. And we are now going to compile. So yeah, you see the green tick here. This basically means that our contract has been compiled without any errors. So now we go over to the contract side of things, and this is where we deploy and run transactions. So the first thing you're going to choose is the environment. JavaScript, VM London, and Berlin are testnets, mainly on the local net. Your Web3 provider is to go with a dApp straight, and injected Web3 is the option that you give if you want to deploy this contract on chain. If you want the ABI for this particular contract, we just have to go to, it's not, okay, we need to deploy it first. So let's make sure we are on the Mumbai testnet. The Mumbai testnet is basically Polygon's testnet. If you don't have any Matic, we can go to Mumbai testnet faucet. And let's copy your address over here, paste it, and send me Matic. So it's gonna take some time till we see the Matic show up over here. So I have 1.3. Hopefully it's gonna come in the next minute or two. Oh, there you go. It just became 2.3. And that's a nice background image over here. Anyway, so now we're gonna go inject this on Web3. And when you click on deploy, you are going to be asked to make a sign. So this says you are deploying a contract from to the using Ethereum remix, and it tells you the gas fee. Because this is on the Mumbai testnet, it doesn't really matter. It's basically free. And there you go. So this is your confirmation that the contract has been officially deployed. You can click on that and you have the transaction hash that you can use to verify the from address, the to address, which is going to be a constructor, obviously, the gas paid for it, and the transaction cost, and so on. Now, obviously, you have given a lot of functions within this information. So here, the only function that we have given is the call data function, which basically is a way of asking the chain to mint a certain NFT. Now, this is where you would essentially give your NFTs metadata that you would get after uploading on IPFS using Infura or Pinata. And let's say you want to create another wallet. So let's go over here and let's choose another wallet. You don't have to connect that. Let's copy that, paste it here, and transact. So now the fallback function is not defined. Now, as long as this contract is on the testnet, you will be running into a lot of errors, and you would need to structure the contract in a way that these errors are mitigated before you head into the mainnet. So sometimes the contract will run on your local machine, but sometimes it might not run on the mainnet due to a lot of various factors that come into play. And once that has happened, you get access to your contract address, which is then provided to your users of various requirements, either for whitelisting or you want to sell this NFT and whatever it is. So now the contract will define the rules and regulations on what the NFT is supposed to do. The NFT image itself should be provided by the owner, which is us. And over here speaking, the owner is basically the wallet that has deployed this contract. So in our case, the first wallet over here is the wallet that I would have used for conducting that transaction. And as any other blockchain related entity, you can verify this on chain. Now, remember that this is on the testnet. So we are going to go to Mumbai scan on Polygon. And we're going to post the transaction hash. And okay, we're just going to wait till the transaction gets confirmed. But the testnet side of things are usually a little slower compared to our traditional mainnet. So yes, that's about it for this small intro session on blockchain, NFTs, and Dehidden. If you guys have any questions, I would be more than happy to take this. If not, I believe Trishul has something to speak on the bonus data NFT challenge. So yeah, over to you, Trishul, if there are no doubts. Thank you guys, and I hope I was able to be of help.
That was great, Sangeet. Let's give 30 seconds for all the participants to gather their thoughts, and let's see if anybody comes up with any doubts. Otherwise, we can continue with the last announcement for the day.
Awesome. Are the comments or questions coming through YouTube?
Rakesh, if you're there, can you redirect some of those comments on YouTube here? I'm not watching the stream right now.
Yes. Yeah, the comments are on the YouTube stream. We'll be sharing it into the Zoom chat. It'll take a minute.
If there are any questions, we will address it.
Cool, that's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. I guess there's no questions for now. If you can go ahead. Maybe we'll have questions later.
No worries. Trishul, I guess Prakash had something he wanted you to talk about.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So for the next steps, for the next couple of days, we'll announce a data NFT challenge. So data NFT, as in it's a specific use case where the NFT is going to point towards some data. So that's called data NFTs. That is usually referred as data NFT. So we'll be pushing out a problem statement that has something to do with data NFTs. So we'll publish that information, the problem statement, and the deadlines for that in the relevant Discord channels, and we'll see some cool implementations for them. And thank you, Sangeet. It was very specific and thorough. I would recommend all the
Thank you.
participants to just watch the stream back because it was a lot
Definitely.
of content to digest and
Of
appreciate in
course.
one single go. I've been in the NFT space for some time, and I can really appreciate how much content he has packed into this very quick, digestible, bite-sized content. And you would really appreciate if you just go back multiple times and try to understand the
Definitely.
terminologies.
So I guess
So
if it's really required, we could like plan up another small half-an-hour session just to get everyone's idea, probably on a later date. Just let Prakash
definitely.
know on this. Yeah.
Yep,
Well,
will do.
I just have to get out right now. I have another meeting to take, so I can take my leave.
Thank you, Sangeet. Thank you. Have a
Awesome.
good day.
Thank you, Gauri. Thank you, Rahul, Rakesh, Giske, and CSI-VIT. I'm sorry, sorry, I don't know your name, but thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
The pleasure was ours. Thanks
Thank
a lot,
you.
Sangeet.
It is a pleasure.
Great, guys. So until next time, then, have a good day.
Rahul, you're muted.
Hi, I was just saying that there are a few questions from the audience. I would just address it. So if one of you would like to answer, that would be great for us. One of the questions I would ask is, how much do you think that NFTs would be viable after DAL-E by OpenAI? Is Trishul here?
Yeah, can I take this? Oh, it's for me. Okay, cool. So
Yes.
NFTs, fundamentally, they solve the problem of ownership, and with blockchains like Bitcoin and other network which are public and the ledger is transparent, so the ownership becomes even more uh, dependable, as in, so you can clearly see who is owning which asset on the network, and that just improves transparency and gives a lot of confidence to the holder as well as the buyer, so that they don't have to believe in any intermediary between the transactions, whether it's a purchase transaction or a sell transaction. So that is one really good use case of NFTs right now. And one more thing is that they are immutable. Once you have published a data asset or any asset that is tokenized as an NFT, cannot be muted again. You cannot change it. So that's tamper proof. That's one feature of it. So we have covered transparency, tamper proof, and you can keep just adding utilities on top of this. Let's say your land records, you can link your land records and you can see the ownership of that particular asset over a period of time, and nobody can tamper with it because the NFT has already been minted and you're just linking each NFT to another NFT. So it's theoretically impossible to break that loop. So that is one. So if we talk about use cases, let's say let's say you're all students, so you must be having certificates, your graduation certificates, and you'll be applying to placement companies. You'll be applying to companies through your placement cell, and they would usually do a background check, as in they would usually call up your admin block or someone to see if so and so person has this degree receipt from VIT or not. So let's say you tokenize your certificate itself, right? You tokenize a certificate and your college is going to tokenize a certificate, and also anyways you're going to get the physical certificate, but at the same time they'll tokenize certificate and put it on the blockchain. So next time whenever you say send your resume, you just have to send your link to your NFT and they can see that, okay, fine, this guy owns a certificate and this particular NFT has been minted from the VIT chapter's blockchain address. So this is one particular use case of verifiability of on owning assets, and that asset could be anything. Could be data, music, video, any physical asset or digital asset for that matter. And so the use case is endless, but there are still a lot of gaps in this whole infrastructure, since it's an open space and it's still on the rise. There could be a lot of opportunity for developers to build the infrastructure now itself. So this is the Gen Z and millennials opportunity to uh, witness another internet boom, another web 2 to web 3 transition boom. And I think this is a great opportunity for all of us to jump on this opportunity and take full advantage of it.
Okay,
So
great.
if there are any gaps in my answers, you can point me out. I can further explain this.
No, I think that was great.
That was a really good
Um,
answer. Yeah. Thank you.
so
Gauri, go.
we hope all your doubts have been clarified. If you have any more doubts, feel free to contact us directly through our social media pages. They'll be linked in the description below.
And also keep an eye out on the bonus data NFT challenge. That will be very interesting to see how you guys apply and project whatever you learned today onto a different type of NFTs rather than the bored apes and CryptoKitties.
So we'll retweet the details on our social media pages and reshare it as well.
Sure, that'll be great. Thank you. Thank you, Gauri. Thank you, Rahul. Thank you, Rakesh, everybody.
Thank you.
It was great.
Thanks a
Have a
lot,
good day,
Trishul.
everyone.
Thanks a lot. Yeah.
Thank you.
Over to Rahul. Yeah.
So yes, adding on to what Mr. Trishul said here, yes, you can put the skills you acquired today to the test, by participating in Devspace 2022, CSI's annual developers conference. Our diamond sponsor, Ocean Protocol, is bringing you a track that will help you work towards understanding and building with the technology behind non-fungible tokens and unleash their full potential.
Registrations for Devspace are now open, so head over to devspace.csivit.com and register for more workshops, keynotes, and the hackathon.
And finally, I would just like to thank everyone who came and to this workshop and especially the Ocean Protocol team, for your time, effort, and zeal towards guiding our participants and equipping them with the skills that they need in order for the challenge that you have prepared for us during the hackathon. So we thank you a lot for that, and we hope to see all the audience and your innovations of Devspace from 14th to 16th of April 2022.
Make sure to follow us at CSI-VITU on Instagram and Twitter to stay updated with the other exciting events and the bonus challenges that follow these workshops that we'll be bringing your way. We would like to thank you all for your exuberant participation, and we hope you had a fun and memorable learning experience at Dehidden. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thank you,
Thanks a
Trishul.
lot. See you soon. Bye bye.